Hey there, welcome back. So I'm just getting ready to start another mission. I wanted to talk real quick about some rules that I was able to look up while we were, between videos here, and yeah, let's start another mission. I am deeply concerned. I've lost twice in a row, not even close in either situation, and I'm at -6 points. And I feel like I'm rapidly hitting a threshold where there's just no point in playing anymore. At least, this particular campaign. I think I am making a lot of lessons learned here. Okay, so what is my lesson learned this time around? I'm shuffling while I'm talking. So the first one is, I thought we actually had the right strategy this last time. I thought we were doing semi-okay to start, with the idea of using the Death Planet, but it just didn't work out. We needed an Enviro Shield to prevent us, and our die rolls just stunk. I mean, my goodness, how many times did I roll a 10 or under in a row? If the die rolls would have worked my way, if the dice would have been in my favor, that may have at least started differently. And then the fact that I was blown up did not help, right? Once they got me, and there was nothing I could do about it. Getting a +10 to their die roll gave them like a crap ton of points, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing we can do about it. We even got the perfect title, which I don't think is ever going to happen again. But we got the perfect title, and it still wasn't enough to help us. Now, with that said, I still believe, so I'm clinging to the belief that the reason you have to play in hard mode, even though hard mode is tough for us, the reason I believe we have to play in hard mode is because it's going to get drastically easy once we start getting some of these campaign upgrades. That's my belief. I don't know if, maybe we should implement some kind of weird rule where you don't go into hard mode until after you've won a few. I honestly don't know, but Easy Tiger is now out of the game, and I'm just cleaning up other pieces, things I probably should have done before I hit record, so forgive me for that. But there was a lot I wanted to talk about with my lessons learned. The next thing I wanted to talk about before I clean up the board, and that's one of the reasons, is that the Scoundrel respawned here. Two things with that. In the base game, when you or the NPC died, it would take a whole turn just to spawn, and you would lose your turn, right? So when it's your turn the next time around, you would just simply spawn, and that's it for your whole turn, and then you would wait another turn before you could actually take actions. The expansion says that's not true anymore, and when it's your next turn, it says you, Y-O-U, spawn immediately with 1 damage if you're a tier 1 ship, 2 damage as a tier 2, etc. And then you immediately get to take your turn. So there you don't lose any action, right? Well, so we have this weird thing where in the base game it says that they follow the same rules as the players. Well, the thing is that the base rules specifically say that they lose a turn. The expansion rule specifically says you no longer lose a turn. It says nothing about the NPCs. So if I understand this correctly, the NPCs still lose a turn if you destroy them. And it makes sense, because from a solitaire perspective, the fact that that merchant ship, after you destroy it, can just come right back and start scoring points again is ridiculous. So the least you can get if you destroy the merchant ship is a reprieve for 1 turn. And I think that's appropriate. I think I am understanding it correctly. So that's the first piece. Then the second piece, as you may recall, Rikishi here turned into a little ice asteroid, and the Scoundrel was going to be blocked off. He was going to spawn and have nowhere to go. The rules flat out explain that in this situation, he would actually go through the planetary barrier and have to deal with all the consequences that goes with it. Now, normally, he never would do something like that. He will only do it if he's truly trapped. And so the rules flat out explain that. And it also explains that when he's trying to come after you as a player, he's going to try to take the safe route, but if he can't, he will take the dangerous route. And I thought that was interesting. And that is a little open for interpretation, by the way. Because here, I can show you, some of these rules are open for interpretation. They're actually not bad. My gripe is they're scattered in like 30 locations, but so, you can see here, NPCs without crossing through a regularly avoided border. In this case, the NPC will move through if there are sectors that are unreachable by NPCs without crossing through a regularly avoided border. The NPC will move through the safest, most direct path. The safest path is determined in this order, So, if the NPC is trying to get to you, then it will go through the dangerous borders, but only if there is no other way to get to you. So if there's a safe path that goes all the way around, it'll go all the way around. It won't go through asteroids or anything unless that is the only way to get to you. And in this case, it would have gone through the border, I believe. It actually would have increased its bounty and taken damage. So the next lesson learned is we got hateful twice in a row. And I guess, to be honest, hateful is hateful. It is extremely difficult to play with a hateful scoundrel. We have yet to enjoy a game without a hateful scoundrel. So there's that. And then the last thing is somebody explained to me, and I did not realize that this was a rule. They explained to me that in the beginning of the game, when you draw your 4 tiles, and technically it's like 3 tiles, right? What you do is you draw them, and then you can place them anywhere you want after you've drawn them all. So you get to see all the tiles before you place them around near here. So we get to see all the tiles, and then we get to put it in whatever orientation we want. We don't even have to line up the symbols in the start of the game. So I thought that was very interesting. I didn't realize that, and so thank you to the viewer who explained that to me. I think prior to playing a solo campaign, it never mattered so much. I mean, who cared if something was to the left or to the right? But now I think we really have to be particular about this. So, and in fact, with the merchant ship, you want to keep those planets as far apart as possible, right? So I think that's a pretty interesting thing. Okay, so bear with me here. I'm going to try to shuffle these up. These are the ones that were exposed. So what I typically do is spread these out on the bottom, and then I take these, and then I just try to make it so I don't remember where anything is. Okay, and so while they're all messed up, I'm going to draw a minimum of 4. I have 1 out now, so I'm going to draw 3 more. So I'm going to get 1, 2, and 3. All right, there seems to be a lightning storm going on. So if my power goes out, it's not because I flipped the table. Okay, this game is kicking my butt. I have never seen a solitaire game kick my butt so badly. Usually I learn quickly and can overcome it. And I've never in my life experienced something so hard that I just, for whatever reason, can't overcome. And am I having fun? Mostly. This is a fun game. The solo campaign is extra nasty. That's the best way to put it. So anyways, let's see what we got here. The first one is a vortex nebula, so pretty straightforward. Another nebula, we got our 2 spawn points. And then the last one is the chasm, which is a real goofy outlaw planet that has all these gravity belts around it. I think this is the one that we were trying to land on in our first game, and we ended up blowing past it both times and ended up losing the game. Okay, so we didn't get any of the planets. So once again, we're in a situation where there's no NPCs that are going to spawn, And of course, we're going to put those 2 tiles in the top 7, which means that the Enforcer and the Scoundrel is going to come out relatively soon. So we need to figure out, what kind of mission can we give ourselves that will give us an edge on this without, making our lives miserable. And then the other thing I got to do is I got to find the Kempler and Scoundrel base. So look at that. I found Kempler on the first try. Scoundrel. By the way, if we ever draw this during setup, you put it back. The Zaya star is not allowed to be out in the beginning. It's for dramatic effect, because if you ever do a blind jump, you need to have that 1 in a million chance that it's going to be the star that instantly blows you up. And I do have friends that happened to them. Okay. All right, so I have these 2, and I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put these 2 on top and set those here. And then the rest of these I'm going to try to collate into some semblance of a pile. Shuffling these is the most painful thing. I do love the tile system, it's just they're not very easy to randomize. Okay, so that's done. Obviously I need to shuffle these somehow. I'm just shuffling until I forget where everything is. Definitely a lightning storm outside. Okay. Top 7 are going on top. So we get to, according to the viewer, I get to place these however I like, and I don't even have to line up the symbols. I don't know how I missed that in the rulebook, but thank you so much to whoever pointed that out. Okay, so while we're thinking about that, what mission are we going to do? And you know what I actually very strongly considered, because I'm so pissed off with these NPCs, I very strongly considered taking Fierce Fighter. Destroy the Scoundrel, Merchant, and Enforcer at least once. So, I actually, I'm seriously considering it. Just, let's destroy them. The only thing that's stopping me right now is I didn't draw them. So they're not going to be out here in this first game. We could try to do the mission one, but I am thinking about the Merchant Master. You earn at least 6 points from selling cargo and or buying in this game. But if you'll notice, there's no planets. We do have the ability to trade. I do have the ability to get some H element, Helos or whatever it's called. I can go here to trade it, but I can't sell it. So that is an issue. So if I try to take a merchant quest, now this is an interesting one. Your ship has to be destroyed at least 4 times this game. And then you still have to somehow win. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I think with this one, you just need to fly into the sun 4 times. So that way the NPC doesn't get credit for you dying. Earn at least 5 from titles. That's also, these are, the more I'm playing this game, the more I read these and I'm like, man, they're all hard. NPC player starts the game with 10 victory points. Remove the Socialist Merchants event from the game, and then draw extra tiles and event cards during setup as needed. What is the Socialist Merchant event? Then draw extra tile. Oh. So apparently there's a Socialist Merchant event. Players may not purchase more than 1 fame point per turn using wealth. At the start of your turn, take a gift and rearm markers if needed. If I'm 5 fame points behind the leader, I gain 6 energy and 2,000 bucks. If I'm 4 behind, 6 energy and 1,000 bucks. Oh, that's actually pretty interesting. It says remove the event from the game and then draw extra titles and event cards during setup as needed. So that means we wouldn't actually get that. All right, so shuffle, shuffle. Okay, so we basically have two crappy Nebula and a crappy gravity system here. 1, 2, 3 Explore tokens, not, anything worth bragging about. I don't think I can win on my first turn. I'm not interested in letting them start with 10 points. This 7 exploration tokens thing, I thought we were at least doing okay, but it turned out to be hard. But we at least made a go at it. The archaeological expert obviously requires a dead planet. This one, at the start of each of your turns, take d6 damage blockable with shields. So this one, you don't have to actually do anything. You just have to take a d6 in damage blockable with shields and score 10 points. And then as a reward, once per game when taking damage, you may block all that damage without using a shield, even if that damage would otherwise be unblockable. This reward doesn't negate ship destruction effects like flying into the sun. I'm sort of thinking, you know what, let's try this. Because this is an automatic win if I can get to 10 points before them, right? I win this mission without doing anything. It's already a win as long as I can get to 10 points before they do. I'm going to do that. Let's try it. So that means I have to mitigate damage on this one, and that could be a problem. So let's figure out who we're going to be, ship-wise. So we have the Puddle Jumper that lets me pay 0 energy to arm. This lets me replenish energy a lot. That's pretty good with Nebula. This one, each damage on your ship gives a +1 instead of a -1. So for example, if you put a damage on your engine, normally, so here, let me show you. So this engine here has 3 spots, right, that we get to activate. If I put a damage on this part of the engine, I can still activate these 2 spots. And with this one being damaged, I would get a -1 to my die roll. With the heat sink, I would get a +1 instead. So damage is actually welcome. So I'm considering this one because we're thinking of playing a damage mission, right? Where I'm going to get damaged every single turn. So Swamp Rat is a pretty cool option here. Here, you can place a damage marker anywhere on an outfit, then maybe immediately use that outfit as if you had placed an armed marker on a use space. I think this one would be the better fit. So that's a candidate. You may use your weapons as if they were engines. And you can target any adjacent ship and basically follow it. So whatever path it's going, like a merchant, you would be able to harpoon onto it. And this one lets me go through shield borders. I think that would actually be really good if you're doing merchant missions. And then Vagabond, you can collect cargo cubes from areas on the map that don't normally contain resources. When inside the borders of any asteroid, ice asteroid, nebula, or debris field, spend 1 energy, and then you can get one of those types of items. This is actually really cool, except I have nowhere to sell them. Okay, so I'm going to do Swamp Rat. And we're going to do Swamp Rat with the damage gives us a +1 instead of a -1. Let's try it. Along with Meteor Shower here. We're going to try a different strategy. See how it works out for us. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we'll try it. And then we're going to take advantage of the fact that there are no NPCs at the start and try to get some money right away. We are for sure going to be buying shields. Swamp Rat here looks like this. So he's a perfect square. Well, not a square, but a rectangle. And so let's get him sorted out. Let's push these up. And okay, so he's going to get armed and dangerous. He's going to have 8 energy, and then we always have 1 extra. I always need to get an engine. Remember, our engine gets a +1, and then we're going to buy a shield with the other one. And I'll put it up here, like so. I do want to get the Enviro shield, because this damage, I believe, is environmental. It just says blockable with shield, so we might be okay. It's a meteor shower. It does say deadly environment, so I would say that that's environmental damage. So we probably do want to get this pretty early, if we can, but I also would like to get one of these too. And I have yet to show you what it's like to upgrade your ship, because we never make it that far. We only have 2,000 to start, and it just, when you start with 4,000, that's a huge difference. I mean, being able to buy 2 more things right now would just be wonderful. Okay, so that's our situation. Parents away on a week's vacation, and off we go. Oh, I got a roll for the market here. So I'm going to just shove everything off, and we're going to start with blue. It's a 6, so blue's going to be filled up. It's funny, our games aren't even long enough for the market to matter. 4 for orange. 2 for pink. 5 for green. And then 4 for purple. All right, so that's how the market's gonna look. Like I said, we're not gonna be able to buy anything. And then we need to orient our stuff here. So what do we wanna do? I would like to win, of course. I'm thinking I don't necessarily want to get a bounty right away, because I don't want that enforcer coming after me. What's the chances we're going to get a hateful a 3rd time in a row? It's actually really low, considering that there's 4 possible AIs, and we've gotten the same one twice. So that's what, a 1 in 4 chance times a 1 in 4 chance. So so 1/4 times 1/4, that was, oh my gosh, that's 1/16 of a chance to get what has happened to us so far. And for it to happen again, I think, is 1 in 64 chances. So my math could be off. I think I did that right. So that is crazy odds. So how do I want to set this up? I think I'm going to make it so the this is going to be, you know, as close by as possible for everybody. Right? So can I like get another, so I can get it in like that. And so I have like 2 of them right next to each other here. But here's the problem. I have no planet to recharge other than the kiln. And so that is definitely an issue. And so if I orient it like this, bing and bing and bing, I can start, and let me find my ship here. I believe this would be the Swamp Rat. We're going to start right here on the 12. So we're right next to the exploration tokens. We can grab and grab, right, real quick. I am going to possibly take some energy damage from the nebula, but I'm going to take my chances with that and grab, and maybe even grab again, and then get to here and recharge, especially if I lost my energy. Sorry, I had a malfunction and things fell on the floor. Still grabbing them. Okay. That's my thoughts. So I'm not going to rush the NPCs out. I'm going to try to get the quick money, right? If I get 2 of those tokens, that's money. Now, I can hand those in for fame points, but I think right now the monies matters. And if you watch other people's videos, it matters for them too. Like, you sort of spend the beginning of the game, building up your power and letting the AI get a little bit ahead of you, and then you start playing catch up and pass them up and then win. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of that. We definitely need money. Now, missions help you get money too, and so that is an option. But the missions are sort of, this one's actually reasonable to get to. The other ones are not. So I think I spent enough time deliberating on this. So we'll just move and let's take our turn. The other thing that I find weird is that the AI rolls for fame points, even if they're not even in the game. I guess that's for balancing purposes, but it is weird. Okay, so it's the start of our turn. We have to roll for damage. I rolled a 2. So I'm going to, I do have 4 charge, so I'm going to, as much as I can, spend one of those to block it. And I only blocked 1. So I do take 1 damage, and I will go ahead and just put it there for now. I could put it on, actually I could put it right here on the 6. So I still have 2 activations, and now I get a +1 to my shields. That's actually pretty sweet. This is a pretty sweet skill. I should have, and some of you are probably screaming at the screen, I should have taken the +1 to shield, missile, and blaster use. This is really hard, and I hate the fact that I took a level 1 here and a level 1 here. You really need to get to level 3 of something, because look at the bonus, just gets so much better. And then I went down here. The reason is I want the extra 2,000 starting credits. I really think that's going to help us in the long run. Anyways, I'm going to stop complaining about that. Okay, so now I'm going to do an action on my engine. Let's take our turn. So off we go. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get to this one first and then that one second. So I got a 4, +1 is 5. So this is 1, 2, and now I'm gonna have to roll. And I rolled a 4, which is nasty, nasty damage. Or that's energy damage. So I lose 4 energy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But I do get it. That's a 2. And then I'm gonna go 3, 4, like so, to finish my movement. And then this gives me +5 movement, which is pretty sweet. So I'm going to move here now, and let's roll for energy damage. And I rolled a 6. So I take 6 energy damage. I only have 4 left, so I'm down to 0. And I need to just check real quick. There is something that happens to you when you run out of energy. This is for the nebulas. It's in the base rules. Just give me a second. I just got to find the nebula section. So when you run out of energy, more bad things continue to happen to you. It's never a kind game. Oh, where are you? Where are you? Nebula, Nebula, where are you? Where are you? Oh, come on. Why can't I find Nebula? Oh, come on. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it, but the outside world is going insane right now. Here we go. Ship loses energy equal to the number rolled. An electrostatic If the player does not have enough energy, then he must disarm arm markers. 1 per energy lost. If his total energy and arm markers is less than the roll, the player is immediately stranded. Ooh. Okay. So I was able to take 4 energy, and what it's saying is I have to go 5 and 6, so everything's off. Okay, so the good news is I get to finish my move. That was 1, and then I would go 2, 3, 4, like that. And that replenishes all my energy. So I'm up to 8 energy, but the problem is my my arm markers are gone, so I can't use my I can't do anything anymore. So I'm going to do my impulse and go 1, 2, 3, and then dock in the kiln. Not because I need to dock in the kiln, but because I want to replenish my energy. And in doing so, there is a spot on the kiln that has a mission. So I'm going to try to see if I can get some missions and score some points here. All right, so we have cargo, and research. Okay, so we can pick up cargo cubes. There's nowhere to pick up cargo cubes, and then we have to deliver it to Calicus. I didn't even know there was a Calicus in this game. Or Farron's Call. And Farron's Call is like a big gravity area, but that's not in this game yet either. So neither of those places are in the game, and there's nowhere to pick up cubes unless we go to Burning Horse and get lucky. Here we have to fly to Pelmont, which is also not in the game. And then collect data by rolling a d20, and then you just get money. I like this one. Even though we don't have either of the locations, I still like this one the most. This one, you actually have to get specific cargo to get this kind of money. I don't like those missions at all then. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, now I do have 2 of these, which is worth 2,000. So I'm going to cash those in and get 2,000 bucks. I can spend 1,000 bucks to, all right, so I'm basically camping or whatever at the planet. So everything's going to recharge. So that part's awesome. I would have to spend 1,000 to remove this. And right now it gives me a +1, and so I'm sort of like, neener, I'm not going to do that. So instead I'm going to spend 2,000 for improvements. And so one of them is going to be this GTS. I really like the +2 to my movement. And then the other one, and by the way, you can buy like 4 GTSs as long as you can fit them around your engine. They all add +2, but remember, this can't go above your max, which is 6 + 1 because of our bonus. Now, I can buy that Enviro Shield that we were talking about. So that way I don't have to roll to block the environment damage. It's just an automatic block. I sort of like that idea. And the other thing we can do is we can get one of these, which is 1,000. And what you can do is it's armor plating. And remember how I said it only takes 1 spot on your ship, and it adds 3 new spots that will take damage. So that's a pretty cool idea, right? If you're taking damage every turn. I actually might like that more than the Enviro Shield. I actually want both, to be quite honest. But I only have 2,000, and so which one is better, do you think? I'm going to take the Enviro Shield first. I really like this idea, but we'll take the Enviro Shield first. So one of these can be used as a regular shield or an Enviro Shield, and so that's my 2,000 bucks. Now I could, if I had 5,000, I'm looking. The green ships, where are the green ships? Here they are. Green ships cost 5,000. So that's a tier 2 ship. I would need 5,000 to go to tier 2. Now, why would I want to go to tier 2? You get a fame point for going to tier 2. So you get a fame point just for upgrading your ship. And then, of course, it makes you more powerful and all that other jazz. Okay, so our turn is over. I would say that for a first turn, we were pretty fruitful. Can I keep it going? Did I score fame points? No, there's so many things that still need to go our way. But let's keep at it. So we're taking damage every round. I actually thought this was going to be tough, and it's really ironic that I'm hoping and praying that this is going to be our first breakthrough win, is taking damage every round, largely because I don't have to meet some kind of criteria. Okay, so looking at our card here, what happens next? Next would be system expanse. So we have 2 edges here, 2 edges here. We get to pick anywhere we would like. And so I'm going to pick right next to us, right here. I know it's sort of off camera here, but, and I'm going to match the square here on the near system. And so we got Farron's Call was one of our quests we could have taken. And so we got all this weird nonsense. I mean, this is all the weird gravity stuff. So why is this not lining up right? That doesn't make sense. Why do I have this weird gap? What am I doing wrong, folks? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. This was not placed in a way where it's matching a... I don't think it changes our turn, but I had the tiles... you had to at least match a symbol in the beginning, and I wasn't doing that. Okay, that works better. All right. It still would have been a 1-2 and then a 3-4. Yeah, the movements I don't think would have changed. It actually may have made it less movement to get back to the kiln, but we made it back just fine. Okay, so now this one's an interesting one because we get 2 Explore tokens here. And the thing is that if you move too much, you end up getting your ship destroyed. So that's the thing you got to concern yourself with. But I look at it as it's either a fame point or more money for us. I don't know which of the 2 I would take, but there's an opportunity there. Okay, so now the NPCs, they don't get any bonus, but we are going to roll for them. And I rolled a 4. 4. I need to, my tripod is very vertical here. Okay, so 4. What is a 4? It is just enough to score a point. 4 through 14, they get a point. So they move up on the score and an event's coming out. Okay, Power Crisis. All planetary shields are deactivated. Planetary shield rolls are ignored. Place a damage on this card at the end of the round. And then it goes away after 3 rounds, basically. So I'm assuming it gets a damage now, even though everybody's already taken their turn. Yes, I'm going to assume that. So 1 damage is going on the card already. And so if there were any planets, there actually is 1 here. All the shields are down, so you don't have to go through the entrances. That would have been a very interesting event, but it's not that interesting right now. Okay, we did that. It is the end of the round, so now we're starting the next round. I'm really happy I put this next to us. So we are currently in the kiln, and I know we got this research mission that doesn't really help us, but I'm going to go ahead and we got to roll for our environmental damage, and it's a 2. So I'm going to just go ahead and use the Enviro Shield to automatically block that. So it's perfect. We've got this thing mitigated now, but it does use up one of our action discs. And now I'm going to use 1 action disc to do our engine. And I rolled a 3, and I get to add +2 because of my GTS for a 5, and then a +1 per our campaign bonus. So we have a 6. However, the first move is going to go here, and I have to roll a D12 for this thing. So the D12 is going to kick in, and it's a 4. And remember, I still have 5 movement left after I'm done with this roller coaster. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And you don't get to stop. That's the thing. So so now I'm going to, I still have 5 movement left, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to get on here. Because if I roll a 6, I get destroyed. That's not good. Now, if I rolled here, if I move on to here, I still roll a D6. That's why I want to get onto this spot, so I can have the least amount of chances to get destroyed. Does that make sense? When this gravity takes you, you have to like let it take you, but then after that, you get your regular movement to go wherever you'd like. Okay, we crossed the mission thing, so I am going to, for giggles, draw 3. And all 3 of them are counterfeit, so my shuffling skills are still a little questionable. And this is the thing where the AI always snitches. So it sucks. You will get a bounty no matter what, so you're always going to be just playing on this side. So I'm not going to take any of those. That's not worth taking in the solo game. And then I'm going to roll the D6. I'm out of movement points, but I still have to let gravity take me. And oh my gosh, I rolled a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do get to take this, and I was very close to being destroyed. And look at this, I get +5 movement points. So I'm going to use that to go 1, 2, 3 and get some more movement points. Or get another one of these. So I got an H cube, which, you know, it's okay. I need a place to sell it, but I do have a cargo cube. And so I use 3 movement points, and then I'm going to go back into this gravity again, like this, for 4, and then I have to roll again, and it's 4 gravity. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and what did I say? I had 5 movement points, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 1 more movement point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move here. Well, no. I was going to move here and spend energy to scan 2 tiles. I don't know if I should do that because that's going to usher in the NPCs. So I'm going to just move 1 more to there and call it a day. All right, so here's my tough decision. I have 2 of these. Do I take the fame point or do I take the 2,000 bucks? At this point in time, making money is impossible other than taking the 2,000 bucks. Obviously, I need fame points to win, though, and that's the key thing that I'm failing to be able to do here. So my apologies. I need to stop real quick. I got a message that my battery's low, but I was charging my device, so I need to check on that. I'm at 40 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and we will continue in just a few seconds.